And the former world boxing champion Anthony Joshua has announced his next fight against the social media star turned boxer Jake Paul in a sanctioned heavyweight bout next month.
I'm not in there to try and knock Jake out in 10 seconds or 8 rounds. I'm going to go in there and do a job. I'm going to want to hurt him.
It could be the end for him, literally. It could be his last day on earth.
What we've all been thinking was finally confirmed at the Miami news conference. It is completely inappropriate for Jake Paul to fight Anthony Joshua. We saw more than simply two fighters engaging in combat. The YouTube star's desperation was painfully evident in every word he said, and the music was a total psychological deconstruction. Anthony Joshua wasn't only prepared for battle. Without even raising his voice, he revealed Jake's whole facade. And it was just amazing to witness it happen.
The upcoming match in Miami will be the biggest test of Jake Paul's career.
Since the background is so important, let's start with the fundamentals. Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua will square off on Netflix on December 19th. Additionally, the entire boxing world was completely shocked when this battle was publicized. We are discussing a man who was getting ready to take on Gervonta Davis at 135 pounds. Then all of a sudden, he is up against a fighter who weighs 245 pounds and has been defeating professional heavyweights for more than 10 years.
Today, it's been made official. Jake Paul is going to get in a ring in a boxing match. Boxing gloves to mix it with one of the most dangerous heavyweights on the...
For years, Jake has been talking about this whole anyone, anywhere, at any time story while pretending to be a fearless warrior. In fact, Anthony Joshua agreed to the bout after taking him seriously. Suddenly, we're witnessing Jake attempt to backtrack while feigning confidence in the entire circumstance.
You alright, my man? Have you lost your mind? This is Anthony Joshua that you just called out. You're fighting Anthony Joshua in less than a month. Why are you doing this?
I like the challenge, man.
The press conference was meant to show that he was ready for the challenge, but instead we saw Anthony Joshua sitting with the calm confidence of someone who already knew how the story would end, while his opponent repeated the same talking points in an attempt to project self-belief. Joshua's presence is unmistakable. This is a man who has fought before 90,000 fans at Wembley, claimed multiple heavyweight titles, and faced the world's best. And his demeanor alone shows he has nothing left to prove.
One element of their boxing skill set that Jake Paul can come 15–20% in regards to Anthony Joshua.
In contrast, Jake Paul has built his career on being the loudest voice in the room, using controversy and attention to fuel his rise, making the difference between him and Joshua unmistakable. When asked about criticism from the UK suggesting he shouldn't take this fight, Joshua responded calmly, saying the negativity doesn't affect him and that he focuses only on the people who support and believe in him, proof of a true championship mindset, staying locked in on what actually matters.
I respect Jake Paul for getting in there. No, respect me because I'm about to win.
In the meantime, Jake is over there enumerating everyone who believes he will prevail as if he needs a support group to confirm his choice. Oscar de la Hoya has faith in him. Nate Diaz believes he will prevail. Tyson Fury is betting on him. He knows deep down that everyone in the boxing world is viewing this bout as a possible catastrophe waiting to happen, which is why he is listing everyone he can think of.
It's not as one-sided fight as people think, and I have power, I have the ability to put people to sleep, and so that's why I took this challenge. And
at that point, Jake begins to speak harshly, declaring that he is prepared to die in the ring and have his face smashed. It's all really dramatic, and the music sounds amazing until you realize that his main goal is self-promotion. Anthony Joshua's reaction to such discourse, with the intensity of someone reading a grocery list, he methodically emphasized that he must tear Jake up, break him down, and injure him in the ring. That's what separates someone who has truly engaged in violent altercations from someone who is merely pretending to be tough.
I'm putting a stint in all of those plans. Don't book anything, don't arrange flights and hotels. I'm knocking this guy out, becoming the CEO of Matchroom Boxing and changing the plans, and it's going to be me versus Tyson Fury next year.
Jake kept returning to this notion of false optimism throughout the entire news conference, as if it was some sort of superpower that would get him through this battle. He often brought up how everyone had previously doubted him, and how he had repeatedly shown them to be mistaken. We should all anticipate that he will shock the world once more since the circumstance is no different.
I don't think it's necessarily fair to AJ. I just know that I have the power and the timing. It's the shots that you don't see coming that knock people out.
However, that reasoning has a serious weakness, and I believe that even Jake is secretly aware of it. Entering the ring with an active, hungry heavyweight champion who has been boxing his entire life is not the same as defeating retired mixed martial arts athletes who are long past their peak. The level of competitiveness is not at all comparable, and acting in a different way is precisely the kind of misconception that will cause him great harm.
And I'm a tricky knockout artist that people don't give me enough credit for. I've won knockout of the year.
At the end of the day, it's just what happens at the end of the night. I'm not in there to try and knock Jake out in 10 seconds or 8 rounds. I'm going to go in there and do a job. I'm going to want to hurt him. You know, I'm going to want to really hurt him in the ring.
However, Jake's statement that this is a win-win situation for him because he has already achieved all of his goals in life was what truly revealed his mentality. He claimed that he is currently playing with house money, which sounds good until you see what he's really saying. He's already planning his defense in case he loses.
Look at the last time they came to America and what the plans they had were. Andy Ruiz stopped that, so this is Andy Ruiz 2.0.
His profile victory was against Mike Tyson, who is 58, last year.
Before the fight even happens, Jake Paul is already talking about how his won in life, which feels less like confidence and more like lowering expectations ahead of a possible loss. Meanwhile, Anthony Joshua hasn't mentioned backup plans or alternate narratives. He's fully focused on the job. And when Jake brought up betting odds to frame his underdog status as an advantage, it came off as an attempt to soften the outcome, as if simply lasting a few rounds would count as success. To the audience, it sounded like confidence on the surface but damage control underneath.
Jake is crazy enough to take this fight. Was that your initial reaction as well? Like, yeah, this is all nice, it's nice to talk, but ultimately he is not crazy enough to fight me.
I don't think Jake's crazy. I think Jake's a logical person. I was invited to train with Team Usyk, so I've been in Spain. We've been doing some good training out in Spain. And I think he's one of the best in the world. Not I think, he is one of the best in the world.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's great. I mean, obviously, he's training with the best in the world. He is one of the best heavyweights in the world. We expect nothing less. And I want the best version of Anthony Joshua on December 19th. And it's going to be the best version of Jake Paul that you've seen, and we'll see who's better.
He believes in himself enough to do it on a massive scale, because it's not about the money. He's got enough money. This is him wanting to push the boundaries of reality.
Anthony Joshua appeared calm and focused, delivering a simple, confident message about December 19th with no theatrics, highlighting the clear gap between a seasoned heavyweight and someone with only a few years in the sport. This fight isn't shaping up as an unpredictable matchup, but as a reminder of the levels in professional boxing. I'll break down every moment when it happens, so be sure to subscribe and leave your prediction in the comments.
As Olympic gold medalist, won the heavyweight championship twice, although he lost his last fight against a very good Daniel Dubois. He's a top 10 heavyweight on the internet sensation, someone who's a latecomer to boxing and has boxed at a very moderate level. I'm talking domestic level. I commend Jake Paul for putting himself in harm's way, because boxing is a dangerous game. People have died in the ring. People have been seriously injured. Mainly Joshua, he's not a bodybuilder. You know, he's a prime athlete. He doesn't drink, doesn't smoke. He's a real clean athlete who is going to inflict some horrendous damage to Jake Paul. We've got a referee in there who's quite compassionate. If Jake Paul is left, up against the ropes with Anthony Joshua unloading on him, it could be the end for him, literally. It could be his last day on earth.
Fear that they are this mismatched. Do you think the fight should really go ahead if you're fearing for Jake Paul's life?
In reality, it shouldn't go ahead. It shouldn't go